back. Not for my trip. It is for me at the time of making this. It is Saturday. I leave in the morning. But I ended up needing to make a little more content to put out. So here we are today. We are going to work some more on this subway and get her all cleaned up. Yes, I'm dating. Ping. Oh, I didn't do this side. Okay. I did start getting cold feet yesterday. And I had a pretty bad case of cold feet today. I've gotten over it, though. I'm a little nervous. It's the first time I'll have ever been away from home for this long, and I'm a little nervous. Okay, I'm a lot nervous. Yesterday was a pretty busy day, though. I recorded the finale for the Metroid manga, and then I did 3 separate streams. And because we were having problems with Twitch, I've been streaming on YouTube. What really sucks about the streaming on YouTube, though, is that it puts your streams in like a stream tab. Because on YouTube you have video, live, community, whatever. You have a bunch of different tabs on your YouTube channel. And I've never really utilized the live tab much. Like right now, there's just one stream up there, and it's from the Pokemon Presents that we covered the other day. Like, not yesterday, Friday, but the Friday before. Wow, it's already been a whole week. But I've often like thought about it. It is something that stays on my mind regularly. Like, what am I going to fill that slot with? But I guess I don't have to. Just put whatever I want in there. I mean, at the end of the day, the videos are still the main part of what I do and what I want people to watch. The streams are strictly done for everybody else's benefit, you know? It just sucks that we were never able to make Twitch really grow or work. Ooh, this fence is going to be hard to get clean. I guess I've never really sat down and thought about it before. Mainly because I didn't want to spiral. Like, I didn't want to make myself all depressed, and I didn't want to get all up in my feels, you know, about the YouTube thing. But it is something I thought about every once in a while. I try to stop myself from thinking about it, but I do think about it. Like, even like the most boring, uneventful streamers have an audience. Makes me sad. There are people who will come at me and say, you know, well, look, Eric, you've done this YouTube thing for 9 years now. You don't have any subscribers. You don't have any viewers when you live stream. Maybe it's time that you admit defeat and move on to doing something else. And I'm like, admit defeat? I didn't know it was a battle. But I do get the sentiment. No, I've thought of that, you know. Each year that I do this, I kind of reflect a little bit around the channel anniversary every year, and I kind of take stock and think, wow, we didn't really grow this year, and we never grow. Like, we had that burst of subscribers a year or so ago from where one of my videos randomly went viral. None of those people ever watched another video. And it's sad because all I really wanted at the end of the day was my own little tight knit community. Not a hug box necessarily. I've seen some people who only stream because they want a hug box. They'll ban or kick anybody who disagrees with them. No, I just wanted a community. I wanted to be able to sit here and play games and talk with people on stream. Unfortunately, I never got that. I mean, I have my friends who occasionally will pop in to chat, but I don't, you know, I don't have an audience outside of my friends. And I've heard it all. Trust me, you're not going to tell me nothing I've not heard before. Well, you should do this, 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 and this, and why don't you try this, this, and this, and this? And it's like, the reason some of these people have as many viewers they do is because they make the most atrocious content possible. And I thought about that for a while. I mean, we have invented an entire language around just using the internet alone. Texting has its own language. The internet has its own language. Video game culture has its own language. Like every group, every culture, every little niche section of any fan base or anything like that, everybody has their own like little terminologies that they use. And one of the ones that gets used a lot when it comes to content creators is what's known as a lolcow. Pretty sure everybody's familiar with that term. Hey, look, the little kitty cat paw prints. Typically, what that means is somebody you can milk for laughs. Like somebody that's considered a loser, somebody who's not taken seriously online, somebody who's either done something to get canceled, or they've made an ass of themselves, or they're just like terrible people, or they're like, they're the fast food of content, basically. You know, you watch them because they're a train wreck. That's kind of what a lolcow is. And I've often wondered if the day will come where some sort of reaction channel or something finds me and decides to maybe react to my vlogs. Because trying to be a reaction channel to my Let's Plays is not going to, that'd just be too boring and you wouldn't get anywhere. But maybe my vlogs, I don't know. But then again, I personally don't see myself as problematic enough for that, but you never know. But I've watched and spent enough time on YouTube over the years to really, I've seen the worst of the lolcows that exist on YouTube. Trust me, I have seen them all, and the worst of them. But, you know, even the like, I think that that's probably why people do well on YouTube is you're either a lolcow making an ass of yourself, or you're somebody who's a reaction channel to a lolcow who's making an ass of themselves. There are people who are semi-successful, and there are people who are flat out successful. You got your PewDiePies and your Markipliers and your Jacksepticeye's. You have all your gaming communities that have been largely successful over the years. And I've said this many times. It definitely feels like everybody and their mama tries to do this, you know. Everybody wants a gaming channel. Everybody wants an audience. Everybody wants to make it big. The majority of people just chase the monetization. Some people chase clout. I've seen every type of person chase everything you could possibly imagine on the internet. I've seen some people that you're not sure whether they're playing a character or they're really terrible. I think one of the more famous examples will be Nikocado Avocado. You can kind of tell he's playing a character. I mean, well, it's obvious he's playing a character, but like how many walls do you break through before you get to the real Nikocado? Because simply breaking the fourth wall ain't enough. He's behind multiple walls past the fourth wall. But I don't know. If one of my friends were to ever come to me and sit me down and say, look, listen, Eric, you've been doing this for almost a decade. Why don't you hang it up already? You never broke 1,000 subscribers after a decade. You never made a lot of you never reached a lot of followers on Twitch. Why don't you just kind of admit defeat? Maybe we could find you a new hobby, you know. First of all, I'd be a little devastated and a little pissed, if I'm being completely honest. It's like, who the hell are you? You're supposed to be my friend. I would understand where they're coming from. One quick look at my channel, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them. I mean, they're not wrong. I get it. But at the same time, I'm not hurting nobody. I'm having fun. I like what I do. So I'll probably just keep doing it. But I would be lying if I said sometimes it doesn't make me very sad, you know. But sometimes you just, you know, you show up every day like you do when you work a normal job. You put in the time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears, and it's like, you never know if a video you put out will ever actually be seen by another human being. It's buried upon billions of videos on the website, and the algorithm already struggles as it is to deliver relevant content to people. God, I can tell you, these algorithms that these companies use are terrible. I'm constantly fighting on YouTube and Instagram, having to say, not interested, not interested, not interested, not interested. I feel like it's a losing game sometimes. But then at the end of the day, I have to wonder how many people have clicked that on my videos, you know what I mean? How many people have been watching YouTube on a phone or on their TV at home, and my big fat ass face shows up. Hey everybody, welcome back to Pokemon episode 1 billion. And it's like, they're not going to want to sit there and watch me play a Pokemon game without a hook or an angle. I think most successful YouTube channels are kind of strictly successful because they're playing stuff that has a hook or an angle. ROM hacks, more specifically, you know. If you're just playing the vanilla Pokemon game, nobody's going to watch that. Nobody gives a flying foot. They could just go play it themselves. The only other reason they would be watching is for the personality of the streamer, and I have the personality of a wet carrot, so it's understandable why I don't have, you know, I never broke 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I get it. I'm self-aware. I really am. But, I don't know. I am a stubborn man at the end of the day. And like I said, I like what I do. I like doing this. I have no intentions of stopping this anytime soon. But one day, maybe, just maybe one day, my videos, because I think for the majority of my 9-year run on YouTube, and anybody I think can go look at this, I don't think it has to be just me, but if you go and look at any of the videos on my channel, I want to say the most views that any video usually has is maybe 1 to 2 views on it. The videos really don't get a lot of views, and the retention rate per video is pretty low too. And it's funny because when I first started doing YouTube, I kept thinking, well, what's the perfect length of video for YouTube? Because I remember years ago when YouTube was newer, you could only do 10-minute videos at first. YouTube had a time limit, and then over time it got to the point where a video can be as long as you want it to be. In theory, I'm sure there's some sort of technical limit, but a lot of the content creators I was watching, you know, in the late 2000s and the 2010s and early 2010s, their videos were anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes apiece. So a lot of the earlier videos on my channel were anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. I was trying to cover as much ground as I could with whatever game I was playing without making the video too fantastically long. I knew nobody was going to sit there and listen to me talk and ramble like a lunatic. for more than an hour at a time. And then the saturation rate was very high too. I'm putting out one video a day, two videos a day. So I've realistically put out more content than one human being could ever realistically watch. Again, I'm self-aware. I used to kind of want people to watch every little thing I made, but now that I've made so many videos over the years, I'm hoping that the right people will find the right videos and hear me talk about the right stuff and be entertained. You know, that's all I can really hope for anymore at the end of the day, is that the algorithm will magically tote whatever video to whomever. Because I used to do that when I followed a content creator on YouTube. I would go down their rabbit hole. I would go back and watch every video they'd ever made. It's very hard to do that now because the like content or I'd say personality fatigue will set in for me. Like I find a new vlog channel that I really like, I'll watch 3 or 4 of their videos and then I'm like, okay, I need to break and I need to go watch somebody else. And then I'll slowly watch some of their videos over the next few weeks. And then before I can get through their entire catalog, I will just start watching new uploads instead of watching everything they put out. And again, in theory, these are channels that have considerably less videos than I do. We're talking like vlog channels that might be a couple of years old. Yeah, so that's kind of the way it works for me. I've needed my jaw to pop all day. It won't pop. I need my jaw to pop and it won't pop. But that's just what's on my mind today. I'm like I said, I'm currently sitting here working on, you know, everything that needs to be ready before I leave tomorrow for my trip. And I'm going to be gone a week again. That's the plan. I don't know if we'll come back early, but I wanted to have enough videos to go out through the week so my channel wasn't just sitting there. I did Pokemon Fire Red earlier. I'm still working through that as like a franchise anniversary kind of dealio. But I've really been itching to get back on this. When I get back from the trip, we're going to be hitting it hard because I need to finish some of these damn games that I've started. One of my hardcore focuses when I get back is going to be Majora's Mask. I really, really, really want to finish that up in March. I do not want that to go into another month. I don't want that to, you know, it's been long enough. Pokopia just came out, and I've only touched it the one time. I would very much like to sit down and play that again. But, you know, there's a lot to think about and consider when you do this kind of thing. Boo, boo. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I am a little nervous. I've never been gone from home in my entire life more than a few days at a time. So this will be the longest for me, which it's on my bucket list to be gone a whole week, just for kicks and giggles. But honestly, I've never had a reason to be gone a whole week. I don't travel like that. I don't have the money. I don't have that. I ain't traveling the world. That's for sure. I ain't got it like that. But go down there, go to the beach, vlog around for a week, come back. I did manage to sit down last night, though, and pull all of the footage off my phone. I was able to slap together a quick little vlog, and that went up this morning. One view, probably from me clicking on it. Again, I get it, though. Like, without the train wreck aspect of being a content creator, why are people watching? You know what I mean? I don't have the boobies. I don't have the looks maxing going on. Whatever the fuck people are watching people for this day, I don't even know why people like what do people why do people tune into Let's Plays in 2026? Anybody know? Anybody shed some light on that? What's ironic, I will tell you what's ironic. I don't watch Let's Plays. I find it kind of hard to watch Let's Plays since I do them myself. Because when I watch them, I'm just like, I could be playing this right now. So it's kind of hard to watch them. I don't know. But yeah, I have to imagine the only reason that people watch streamers is because they either find them attractive or they're a train wreck. I can't imagine any other reason. I guess there is the rare exception from time to time of somebody who might actually be watching it for the gameplay, but like, I think too many people are superficial for that. I don't know. But this is where my brain is today. So I figured we talk about it and I shares it with you. It's supposed to storm here in a few hours. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's been the most beautiful spring day. If anything, it's kind of been hot out today. Very unseasonably warm. I'm hoping, well, not hoping. I looked into it. It should be past us before we leave tomorrow. Good old-fashioned cold front. These walls are going to be the fun part, you know. I'm gonna ride a train, a choo-choo train. I'm gonna ride a train, a choo-choo train. Ah. Not the ladder being in the way. Yes. Lauren. Lauren. Hello. How you doing? This is some tough grime. I hear stuff down this tunnel. I know I do. I keep hearing noises. I heard that. Oh, wait. Oh, snap. Is this part? I gotta get this part too. You know what? I didn't even notice. Stand up, dum dum. I didn't even notice this. This rail is cranky too. Oh, that's one hell of a way of clearing it out. Damn. And I thought I had done such a good job over here. Look at all this. Look at all. Look. No. 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 This is how a judge feels when somebody goes back over his ruling. I've already ruled on this, and now you're trying to undo it. You'll never guess where I was today. Train station? World War One plane? Jesus. Why was I not using the hint button yesterday? Missed so much dirt. So much time wasted. Nope. Were you out in the water? Were you on a boat? Or were you actually in the water? Were you in ocean, lake, river, tributary, gulf, bay, creek, pond, delta, river delta? I don't know. Bathtub, swimming pool, Mars? This will get those hard to reach areas. Oh no, I've turned into a commercial. There's stubborn, hard to reach places in your cleaning area. You went to the beach. The beach. How was it? Was it nice? Was it everything you hoped it would be? Lord. Oh, these train tracks are going to be a nightmare. An absolute fucking nightmare. Honestly, the smart thing to do would probably be to save these stupid train tracks to last. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Ow! I heard that. That was just straight up a train. You've never been there before? It was a 1 hour trip. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. Tomorrow, uh, Tyler has to drive 4 hours from his place just to get to me, and then another 4 hours to get down to the beach. So I'll be in the car for 4 hours. He'll be in the car for 8. The day was beautiful. You only slept 4 hours. See, that's what I hate about the way that you and our sleep schedules are always trash. You and me, we were the same in that way. Every time I turn around, one of us is broken our sleep cycle into a million pieces. I do that too. I'll either stay up the night before because I'm too anxious, too excited, or too nervous, one or the other, or I'm just up late doing stuff and I don't want to go to sleep. And then the next day, I'm a dead zombie uh, for whatever I'm trying to do. I used to be really bad about that as a teenager. Early 20s, I think that's when I did that stuff the most. I was real bad about that. I'd stay up till the wee hours of the morning, go to bed, and then Tyler or my parents or whomever would try and wake me up. Hey, we got to go do this. And you had a really hard time waking me up at that point. It was a real fight to get me up because I'm a heavy sleeper. Like when I go down for the night, I'm down. Now that's only the case if I go to bed when I'm super tired. If I go to bed early because I need to be up the next day, I'll usually wake up, like I'm supposed to. Yeah, 8 hours. I do not envy him tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Since you weren't here at the beginning of the episode, I'll tell you this because I said it at the beginning of the stream, but last night the cold feet started to settle in, and then I had a real bad case of cold feet today. I'm pretty nervous about going. Like after we leave, I'll be fine. But before we leave, I'm nervous as hell. I'm really nervous. Because I called him last night and I was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. And then, he talked me into it, talked me down off the ledge. And then before I started streaming earlier today, I messaged him on Discord and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. And then we talked on Discord for a bit. So. And that's the funny thing. Like, that's what's so sucky about it for me is like, most people would fucking kill to go on vacation. Most people would fucking kill just to take a trip. Most people would kill to go down to the beach. Free trip, free vacation. People would be jumping off rooftops for that opportunity. But I'm scared. I don't want to leave the safety of my little bubble. I'm a little agoraphobic. I don't feel safe out there. I get really, really nervous when I have to leave the house, and it's the anxiety gets really bad, and then I get, the shakes and the stomach turns upside down and I get a headache and it becomes a whole physical production, So like anytime that I'm about to travel somewhere, and it's different from just like going to the store. I like, I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to go to the market or the store, whatever. I'm going to get some groceries, whatever. That's a whole different monster. There's some anxiety there, but it's not as severe as like, I'm going to go on a trip somewhere and be gone away from home for a day or a night or whatever. And for me, it doesn't even matter like how nice the trip is. It doesn't matter where I'm going. It doesn't matter who I'm going with. It doesn't matter where we're going and what we're going to do. The super hyper anxiety is still fucking there. And it takes an extraordinary amount of mental energy to walk myself back off that ledge and say, stop being a goddamn pussy and go do it already. It takes a lot of mental energy to get myself to that point where I'm like wagging my finger at myself and saying, quit being an ass. You know what I mean? But yeah, the cold feet was pretty bad earlier. And it'll be off and on for the rest of the night. Like I put my laundry in the wash. All I got to do now is start packing my bags, get a shower, and I'll be ready because I want everything packed and by the door. So when they come in the morning, I can wake up and go. I don't want to have anything waiting last minute. And I know we live in different times. Like I know it's not the 1950s or the 1990s anymore. I understand that people are willing to openly discuss mental health, and people are, oh, you know, openly willing to say, oh, it's okay for you to have this anxiety, it's okay for you to this and this. But my brain didn't grow up in an era where it was okay to talk about mental health, so my brain still stigmatizes the mental health. My brain is still struggling with stuff like that, so I'm nervous and having all these anxieties, but my brain is also kind of parroting all the stuff it heard in the 1980s, the 1990s, the early 2000s. My brain's telling, like, my brain is attacking my masculinity. My brain is attacking my self worth. My brain is like, oh, you're being a coward. You're not being a man. You're being a fucking pussy. You know, it's just a goddamn trip. Most people would kill for this. You know, most people are struggling out there these days. People can't pay their bills. They can't afford food. They can't. And here you are being a goddamn pussy about taking a free trip. That's what my brain is screaming, while it's also screaming anxiety. And the war that is going on in my head makes me very tired and very sick to my stomach. I don't know if any of that makes any sense to anybody, but being alive is exhausting. I do. I feel like sometimes I feel like Heckle and Jide, Heckle and Jide, Heckle and Jide. Fuck, what are their real names? Jekyll and Hyde. I do feel like that sometimes. I should probably talk to somebody about that. Am I schizophrenic? Am I bipolar? What am I? Because I do that a lot. I will have two conflicting in my head at the same time, constantly. Like I don't, I don't know if that's normal. I've never talked to anybody about it. For all I know, it's normal. I just assume that's how it works for everybody. No, and like I said the other day, what the hell is the point of this graffiti? You just layer in this graffiti on top of other graffiti. I can't read a damn thing. What's the point? Burp, 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 burp. All right. What was that? What? I heard. What I hear? I do like how quickly you can move using a mouse over trying to use a controller. That is one of the things I do love playing with keyboard and mouse over a controller. Fucking precise everything is with a damn mouse. I will say though, I still struggle using like multiple fingers with the WASD as opposed to having just used a thumb my whole life for the directions. It's difficult to get used to it, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. WASD, because I use three fingers for WASD. I don't know how other people do it. I don't know how you're supposed to do it with like with the home position. Like if you're using the home position for your hands and typing the way that they teach you in like computer class or whatever, then I don't know what fingers you would use for a WASD, I sit here and use these three fingers for moving around. Ain't easy. Ain't easy being cheesy. Wait, I washed this part already. What the fuck? Hold on. And my ladder's gone. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Am I going crazy? Oh, I'm thinking of this spot up here. Oh, I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I feel like so much of this subway can be clean just doing this. But this isn't exciting. How have I not cleaned this? How have you not pinged yet? Why are you not pinging? I'm scared. Why has it not pinged? There. Well, fuck it. We got a ping out of that. Up. This reminds me of all the tunnels that I built in Minecraft. You know what? When we get back, we should really get back into some Minecraft. There's just so many games to play in so little time. You know? Ping pong. Ping pong. Well, we've discovered two things about this game. We're in England, I think, and it's 1984, I think. I don't know. There are no volcanoes in England, though. And have they mentioned cell phone at any point? I don't know. I mean, technically there were cell phones in 1984, but they were huge and ridiculous and expensive, far and few in between. I want to say usually if you had a cell phone in the 80s, you were most likely a Wall Street guy. You know, you had money. You worked somewhere fancy. Remember pagers in the 90s? There was no, I've never been in a subway station before. I have not. There's a lot of places in this world I've never been before. I am very much a country boy who has not seen much of the world. I am a country bumpkin. More of a suburban bumpkin. I've lived my entire life out in the suburbs, however you pronounce it. not too far out in the country, not too far into the city. But my world has always felt very small. You know, most of my experience of the world has come from television or the internet, pretty much. Um, there we go. Oh, I didn't get the backside. There had rats the size of dogs. I don't know. I've always heard that too, but I don't know. You know what my dream is now? And it's kind of funny and ironic given the conversations that we've had today during this episode. But I was telling Tyler this recently, and I don't know if this is going to come across as sad and pathetic. Probably most of the stuff I say is sad and pathetic, but I have never really had any dreams or aspirations. I don't know how that comes off. I don't know how that sounds, but I haven't. I really haven't. I've never wanted to be a billionaire. I've never wanted to conquer the world. I've never wanted to be super rich or famous or powerful. I've never wanted to really go too far away from home. I, for the most part, have always wanted to just kind of like be left alone in my home to play my video games. As sad and pathetic as that may sound, that's just the personality I've always had. I want to be left alone in my bubble. And Tyler's been on my case about that for decades. You know, he says it's not good for you, it's not healthy. And he's not wrong. He's really not wrong. He is really not wrong. Aren't you curious to ride the subway? Oh, I would love to ride a subway. We don't have them here. I live too far away from where they are. So it's not a matter of being scared to ride the subway. I just don't have access to one. I live really far away from any subways. Um, but yeah, I that like when I was a kid in school and you know how they always ask kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? I never had an answer. Other kids are like, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a doctor. They give the cliche answers. And of course, nobody ever turns out to be the things they say when they're in fucking first grade. But my point is, even as a teenager, I didn't have any goals, dreams, or aspirations. I just kind of existed. If anything, I globbed onto Tyler, and we had always talked about having our own video game studio where we sat down, programmed, made games. And we talked about it more than we actually did working on it. We never got around to the physical working on it stage. And that dream just kind of faded away as reality crept in. You have to get a real job, go to work, pay bills. You become an adult, and that childish dreams kind of just die. And that's the case for like 99% of people in the world. We're not special cases. That's just usually how life works for everybody. Most people, some people do follow their dreams, but let's face it, most people don't follow their dreams. Most people don't end up where they want to be. They don't end up doing what they want to do. Whatever. It is what it is. It's not the point to my story. The point to my story is I've never had any hopes or desires. If anything, my friends' hopes and desires kind of just de facto become mine at some point. But I don't know. I've just never had anything I wanted to go and do. I just kind of exist. But, you know, in my 30s, that really started to kind of grate on me. I was like, wow, I have no motivation. I have no kind of direction in life. You know, you can pose the question of like, why do you get up every day? Well, for most people, you get up and go to work because you like to eat. You have to pay bills and live. But aside from that, like, that's what you have to do. What do you want to do? Some people's dream could be something as simple as, I want to visit location X one day. Like an American may say, it's my dream to go visit Europe one day. That's a very common thing that people might look forward to. Like for a lot of people, it might be, I want to own my own home someday. I don't want to rent for the rest of my life. Those are all real obtainable life goals that millions of people have. Those are just two examples off the top of my head. But for me, I didn't have any of that. I've been directionless my entire life until I started YouTube. Now, when I first started doing YouTube, it became my entire existence. Like, YouTube has been a fantastic journey for my mental health. YouTube has been one of the biggest contributing factors for me improving year after year and getting better, being happier, and living ultimately a better life. Like, YouTube has improved my quality of life exponentially over the years. So even if I don't have a lot of subscribers, and even if I'm not known by anybody and nobody really watches other than a few friends, at the end of the day, YouTube is still something that boosts my mental health. It helps me a lot. And I didn't really realize until I started doing vlogs on the channel a handful of years ago that I might have a slight interest in maybe traveling and doing travel vlogs. And I never really got around to doing them either. For the first 3 or 4 years that I was vlogging, I was just going out and vlogging around where I live. I didn't go out and travel. Again, money, time, lack of desire or want to do so. Again, I'm a homebody, which is funny because I didn't used to be that way as a real tiny kid. As a tiny kid, I wanted to go everywhere and travel and explore. And then at some point, something over the years changed and I completely did a 180. But back in, what was it, 2024? Out of the clear blue sky, Tyler and Tiffany are like, hey, you want to go to Florida with us? Sure. That one trip down there, because I had not been anywhere in like 20 years. I had not taken a vacation or left the house or done anything in like 20 years. That one trip was kind of like lighting a pilot light. You know what I mean? That one trip was kind of like, it awoke something in me. And I was like, do I want to do this more often? And of course, in my head, I'm like, nah, this was a one-off thing. I won't be able to travel again after this, yada, yada. But then I went to Tennessee. I drove up there by myself, stayed a few days, had a ball, hung out with them, came home. It was fantastic. Then I get a message from Tiffany who says, hey, I'm putting together a surprise party for Tyler. Do you want to come up? I'll be there with bells on. So again, for a second time, I drove up, had a blast. Although I will say I didn't vlog as much the 2 times I drove up to Tennessee recently. I was more focused on like just living life and being in the moment. So I didn't do a super lot of recording. Which is understandable. You're trying to live and be in the moment. But it's slowly making me kind of yearn for travel. You know, it's slowly building up in me that I want to go here. I want to do this, which is a new sensation to me, you know. But I am still conflicted with the anxiety of being outside my bubble. I desperately want to travel and enjoy the world and do things, but at the same time, the world's on fire, not just in America, but everywhere. and I'm a little scared to go anywhere um, because of all the political shit that's happening, but also just in general. Like, I don't have any life experiences outside of my little bubble. So, like, I'll give an example. If I were to go to New York, I would be such a fish out of water. I wouldn't know where to go, what to do. I wouldn't know. I all I know is television and movies that New Yorkers can be extremely mean. And my little southern hospitality ass wouldn't know how to deal with that. I'm from Alabama. I don't know how to be in New York properly. I'd probably get hella taken advantage of and screwed over. But and then again too, there's the other half of it. Most people who travel either do so with their family. They might have a wife and kids, and it feels a little safer. You feel a sense of community when you travel. Like maybe you take your friends with you and you're traveling with three or four friends and whatever. I have been very fortunate the few times I've traveled in the past year or two, to be able to rely on Tyler and Tiffany for company. So I'm not traveling alone, but I'm not married and I don't have a family. So if I travel and they're not there, then I'm traveling by myself, which makes me very scared and very anxious and uncomfortable. So I'm still not at the point where I'm ready to travel by myself either. Like it was fine for me to drive from Alabama up to Tennessee by myself. That was nothing. I didn't care that did not give me anxiety at all. But like this trip tomorrow is giving me hella anxiety because it's a lot of new things. It's a lot of firsts, you know. So, but that's about the short and tall of it. I had this conversation with Tyler just a few weeks ago, and it's been brought up two or three. I brought it up two or three times and talked to him about it, and I'm like, I'm really concerned that I have no drive and no direction and no want to do anything. You know what I mean? Like most humans, again, are driven to have some sort of long term goal. I've never had one. And I think that a lot of other people like me might be in the same boat. I don't know. Like, there's an entire generation of millennials who have spent their whole life indoors playing video games. The social outcasts, the nerds, the gamers, the neckbeards, all those guys. There's a whole culture out there of people who just sit at home and play video games and don't have any friends and don't have any aspirations and don't really have any kind of life goals to reach for. Um, and it's sad. And it could be for a plethora of reasons. It's not always, um, it's not always tied to laziness. Some people might just, I don't know. I really couldn't speak for everybody else, but I don't know. It's something. It's it's a goal, I guess. I don't know. My struggles for the majority of my life, honestly, have just been existing from day to day. So I guess I never really bothered to put too much stock into what I might do 3 months from now, 3 years from now. I never think that far into the future because, and this is gonna get super dark for a second. I don't know that I'll be around for that long. If I'm being 100% honest with you guys right now, 41 years old, I'll be 42 this September. I did not honestly think I would still be here at this point. I don't exercise. I eat like a raccoon eating out of the garbage. I'm morbidly obese. I'm huge. I have no real friends that I see ever. I don't get along with my family. I have no social attachments, no emotional attachments to anybody. The few friends I have are online, you know, kind of deal. I have no goals and aspirations to ever go anywhere or do anything. My depression and anxiety is always super fucking bad. My life expectancy in general is very low. Not only just statistically am I not expected to make it to 80, I can guarantee you I won't make it to 80. But just 10 years ago, I didn't think I would make it to 40. And then I made it to 40. And it was funny because I had my blood work done at the doctor just the other day, and knock on wood, when I went to get my results, she was like, your thyroid looks fine, your kidneys are great, your blood pressure's normal, you're pre-diabetic, but you're not diabetic. Your cholesterol's fine. You know, aside from being a fatty, I seem to be a pretty healthy 41-year-old. Medically speaking, through, urine samples and blood tests and my labs say that I'm pretty healthy, more or less. I need to work on the pre-diabetes thing, but other than that, it's I don't know. I will tell you one of the things that I didn't realize was a problem until I got older. And this is a very big part of being a human being. Hell, this is a big part of just being alive in general. And that's social activities. Like some creatures, I don't know. Again, I'm not a scientist. I couldn't tell you how many creatures out there in nature do fine solo living by themselves. But I know with primates in general, great apes, us humans, we're extremely social creatures. People who tend to live alone and not socialize a lot do tend to die early. Um, People who are close with their family or friends and stay social do tend to live a smidge longer. Um, Blinded, you only see the negative side of those things. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Um, like I said, I'm doing better now than I was last year and the year before. I am trending up. You know what I mean? I'm doing a little bit better each year, but I'm still not where I want to be. I keep putting the work in, and that's the important thing. You know what I mean? I'll get there. I hope. But I think that maybe I'm going to focus from now on you know, like I basically what I think I'm leading up to is my priorities are starting to fall in line. They're starting to seem a little more responsible. They seem to be a little more in line with my age. They seem to be a little more in line with where I should be at this point in my life. I think things are finally starting to stabilize and normal themselves out. And that I'm pretty happy about because life has been exhausting up until this point. And I could stand with some normalcy. I really could. But there are a few goals for this year. Goal number one, continue with YouTube, continue working on the content, continue trying to grow the best I can without succumbing to being a douche tuber for views. I want to keep putting in what I feel is quality and genuine work to my YouTube channel. I want to work on my health. I want to work on my diet. And I don't want to just do a crash fad diet. I want to make permanent lifestyle changes that I know will benefit me in the long run. Because I could just fast every day and lose a ton of weight. But if I make healthier choices just every day from now on, then that'll be better for me. I think it's time we go back to work. as well. See, when I first started doing YouTube, this was pre-COVID. I had not been out of work for long, um, and I was trying to. I think in the early stages of my YouTube, I was still considering getting a new job, but the only job around here, honestly, would have been either like fast food, McDonald's type jobs, or Walmart, and neither one of those seemed super appealing to me. At that time, I was also struggling super hard with my mental health. I mean, I was in a super dark place, the darkest I've ever been in my life. So I thought I need to go get some help. So I went to the doctors. I saw, mental health, behavioral health people. They put me on antidepressants. And given the state of my back and how bad my back was, and given how bad my mentals were, they felt that I could probably get on disability. So I went down that avenue of trying to get on disability. So I filed for it, was denied, got a disability lawyer, took it to court, was denied, had to wait an X amount of time to file again. I filed again. The lawyer again went with me. We had another court date, and I went back and forth with this for years, trying to get my disability. And ultimately, that final time, my lawyer, this is like right after COVID started, my lawyer was like, listen, I don't think they're going to give it to you. And I've been, my lawyer was working on a I don't get paid unless we win basis. So I guess he had felt he had put enough time and effort into a lost cause, and he dropped me. So at that point, I just was resigned to sit around and do nothing. My mental health was still bad, and I still wasn't doing great. And I was still just plugging away at YouTube every day. My sleep apnea was bad. I was gaining weight like there was no tomorrow. I ended up ballooning up. Uh, we were in lockdown for COVID. You couldn't go anywhere and get any exercise. I was eating all day, eating my feelings, eating through the depression. My sleep apnea was getting bad. My streams were getting bad. I was doing long, hour-long streams where I was just dozing off, falling asleep because I wasn't getting enough sleep at night. And then even after I got the CPAP machine, I was using it wrong for so long that I was still suffering sleep apnea at night and didn't realize it. And I did maybe 3 or 4 years of just sleepy streams, stuff that even I wouldn't want to watch. So I don't blame anybody. But all this time I've not been working. I've just kind of been here. But at this point, I feel that I've recovered enough. I think that with a little bit of effort, I can cross that door's threshold, go back out into the world, secure me a new job, go back to work, and I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be just fine. So I think that that's something else that we're going to do this year. We're going to keep doing the YouTube. We're going to keep taking the opportunity to take trips and travel anytime I could possibly get the ability to do so. But I think that we need to go back to work. So yeah, that's where my mind's at right now. Just in case anybody might be wondering. Now, where am I going to go to work? Oh, I haven't the foggiest. I live in kind of a black hole. Like, my town sucks. So I might have to travel out of town to find something. But yeah, with a clean bill of health on my labs and my mental health being better than it's been in a while, I feel confident that I can get back out into the world and return to being a productive member of society now. I just got to get out and do it. A lot of people have recommended that I do like work from home jobs, call center jobs, stuff like that. Nah, I'd rather actually go somewhere, get out of the house for it. You know what I mean? Because I think the final boss for my vlogs is going to be Japan. Like Tyler said, they're going back to Iceland in a few years for their wedding anniversary, and they want to take a few people with them. So they invited me to go. I have to pay for everything myself, which is obvious, and I plan to do that. But I'm going to go to Iceland with them. But down the road, at some point in the future, Japan is kind of my de facto go-to tourist destination. I want to go to Japan. I want to walk around and see the sights. I want to eat the food. I want to go there and pretty much just do all the touristy things that all the tourists do and then come home. There are plenty of other countries I want to visit, but Japan is kind of like that top spot. You know what I mean? Mexico was on my list until dumb fuck became president and ruined everything. Right now, you can't go to Mexico. I would say South America, but I don't know jack shit about South America. I mean, Lewis could tell us about South America, but me personally, I don't know anything about South America. Although, to be fair, I really don't know anything about Central America either. I would visit Canada, but here's the thing about visiting Canada. It's practically just America. There's not enough cultural difference going to Canada that's worth the money and the time of going up there. Maybe one day, but Canada's a hard maybe. Like, I don't have any strong desire to visit Canada. I used to, not so much anymore. I've been following a few Canadian YouTubers for a while, and it really just feels like a subsection of the United States. It doesn't feel much different at all. Not enough to warrant like a whole trip that's going to cost thousands. And then two, given the state of the world this day and age, traveling as an American is difficult because most of the world hates us. And that is something for which I do not blame them. I hate us too. I remember years and years ago, I watched the movie Hostel, the horror movie Hostel by Eli Roth, and I was like, God damn it, Eli. Now I'm not going to want to go anywhere in Europe. That movie is kind of rough to watch. I don't know if it's aged well. I haven't seen it since it was new, and I didn't see any follow-up or sequels if they made them. But I remember when I watched Hostel, I was like, I don't want to go anywhere now. The same for Taken with Liam Neeson. When I watched that, I was like, I don't think I want to leave the house now. Oh, you say that in jest, but there are a lot of ignorant Americans who think that way about other cultures and other countries, and it's pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. And that's something else I've been thinking a lot about lately too. Like, if you were to travel back in time to like medieval times, that doesn't make the people living there stupid. They're probably just as smart as you, if not smarter, to be honest. What's the difference between the two cultures? Electricity, smartphones. Like this, the natural born intelligence is the same level. Just the world you live in is different. You know what I mean? I That bothers me sometimes in movies and media. Ooh, we traveled into the past 500 years ago. Primitive man. Brr, brr, brr. No, that's not how anything works. That's not how anything works. Humans 10,000 years ago were exactly the same intelligence level they are today, of humans of today. There is zero difference in the intelligence level. The only difference is the worlds in which we live are different. We know about different things. I would say we're probably more knowledgeable than they were, but not smarter, no. Like, our lives today in the modern world demand us to know more information than like our hunter gatherer, ancestors would have. But yeah, that bothered me too when I was little. Like, Americans a lot of times will look at another country and think that they just live in huts with no electricity. I'm like, you do realize you're not the center of the universe, America. If anything, you are way down on the fucking list. You're not first in anything. You're There was a clip from that show. I forgot what it was. I forgot what his name was. The guy, one of the guys, not Jim Carrey, but the other guy, Jeff Daniels, I think is his name. He was in a political show, and he had a whole speech about how America is so up its own ass without any right to be. Warmongering police state, fascist, Christian police state that polices the world, kind of ruled by Israel, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, he went off. We're like way down the list on education, technology, science, innovation. We're not even in the top 20, the top 50 of any of those things in the world. Do you realize how many fucking countries around the world are beating us in science, education, health, just every aspect of life? America has never been like that American exceptionalism that they bred into everybody post World War One and super hyped it up during post World War Two. I hate that shit, man. I do. Like, there are parts of my homeland, the United States, that I like. I like my Constitution, and I like the fact that I have my freedoms that I have living here. But goddamn, am I embarrassed all the time to tell people that I live here. And as an American, and anybody who might not be from here watching, let me tell you, you think that we're responsible for putting these jackasses in power? Fuck no. I will buy that Trump might have won his first election. I don't buy for a fucking second he legitimately won that second election. That motherfucker cheated. I have no idea how he cheated. He bought that election. He pitched, remember that toddler tantrum he pitched when he lost to Biden? It was rigged. It was rigged. He jumped up and down like a 3-year-old and pitched a fit. So embarrassing to us. So embarrassing. Jesus, I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to show my face. No, that's something you got to look out for. So, like, if you're a foreigner outside of the United States and you see American tourists acting a fool in your country, just know that a tiny smidge of that is not their fault. They have no home training. It's how they were raised. It's society's fault. American society teaches us from a very early age in school that we're the best goddamn thing on earth since sliced bread, and that we are chosen by God to be the best thing on earth since sliced bread. The brainwashing really starts early in the United States. They start on kids real young here in the United States. So, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Everybody else in the world, I really am. Like I said, there are parts I like about living here, but the majority of it is just embarrassment. Eric, where are you from? The United States. uh, I wanted Kamala so bad. Was it Kamala? Kamala? I wanted her to win so bad. I don't even necessarily think she was the best candidate for the job, but goddamn did I want her to win. That'd have been fun to have our first black president, or not. Well, no, I guess Obama was our first black. It would have been nice to have our first woman president. I've been wanting that for a long time. I really want a lady president. We really, really badly need a lady president. So badly. So badly. Ooh. All right, I think we might start wrapping this up here today. It's getting late, and I really need to be about doing some stuff to get ready for tomorrow. We got a hell of a lot done today. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at it. Wait, did I really only leave one poll? All right, I tell you what we'll do. We'll finish today's stream by taking out this last poll. Last poll. Last poll. I tell you what would really tickle my fancy, not just a woman president, but give us like a Latin American or Latino like lady president. Ooh, yeah. Really stick it in their craw. Bing. Alrighty. Yeah. 39%. I know. No. Look, I've done all of this shit. All of this. And that's only 39%. You know what? You know what? These benches are hard to do. Ah, look at all that dirt. Oh, I see you hiding down there. Damn it, I was hoping that by doing this, it would knock us up to 40. A good 40. Come on. Jump. We gotta go. My own. My own. We did it! 40%. Oh, somebody got blue graffiti all over this thing. Which one of you hoodlums did that? Somebody on YouTube's, I remember hearing that a few years ago. They were like, you can't say hoodlum or hood rat or anything like that. That's racist. I was like, no, it's not. It's classist, but it's not racist. If you don't want to be called that, stop doing shit. Stop doing stupid shit. All I gotta say. It's not that hard, folks, not to be a hoodlum or a criminal. It's really not that hard. It's really easy. So I have no sympathy for you. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up here. Next time we come back, I will have been on my trip and returned. Take you streams. Will take me 4 streams total. Yeah. It might, actually. I don't know. The walkthrough I looked up back when we were doing the governor's mansion or the mayor's mansion or whatever said that the game was going to start getting harder and larger from here on out. Like, I get it. I believe it. This has been like the biggest map and the most tedious map we've done yet. And I thought that the restrooms were going to be bad, but goddamn, an entire subway station? All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking out another video on the channel. Today, I feel like I talked about some really important stuff. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, leave me a comment, maybe share a story of your own. Tell me what you thought about all the stuff I talked about. You know, let's get that interaction. Let's get that viewer engagement going. I don't push that enough. I got to start pushing that. So I'll see you guys when I get back, if they let me out of here.